All right, let's jump right in. So you've built a fantastic app. That's the hard part, right? Well, now comes the other hard part, turning it into a real revenue-generating machine. And we're going to explore exactly how to do that with mobile ad networks.
I mean, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? You've poured all this time, energy, and creativity into building something you're proud of. You've got people downloading it, but how do you turn all that success into actual, sustainable income? That's precisely what we're going to unpack.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to talk about the monetization challenge itself. Then, we'll get into the nitty-gritty and decode the language of ad revenue. After that, we'll take a tour of some of the biggest players in the ad network space. And finally, we'll pull it all together so you can build a strategy that actually works for you.
Okay, let's start with the big picture, the monetization challenge. It's really all about that tricky balancing act of turning those downloads into dollars, but doing it in a way that doesn't tick off your users.
And here's the most important thing to get your head around: mobile ad networks. Think of them as the ultimate matchmakers for the app world. They're the bridge that connects you, the app developer with a great audience, to advertisers who are dying to reach that exact audience. Seriously, trying to do this all on your own? It'd be a nightmare. These networks are the engine that makes in-app ad revenue possible.
Right, so ad networks are the bridge. But how does the cash actually move from one side to the other? To pick the right partner, you've got to speak the language first. And that means understanding all the different ways you can get paid.
And this table right here breaks it all down beautifully. Let's run through them real quick. First up, CPC, or cost per click. Super simple. Someone clicks an ad, you get paid. Then there's CPM, which is cost per mil. That's Latin for 1,000. So you get paid for every 1,000 times an ad is shown. This is awesome for apps with tons of traffic. Next, CPI, cost per install. This is a huge deal in the gaming world. You basically get a commission for getting someone to install another app. CPA, cost per action, is where the user has to do something specific, like sign up or buy something. It pays well, but it's a bigger ask. And finally, CPV, cost per view, is the king of video ads. You get paid when a user watches a video. The bottom line here, the best model for you depends completely on your app and how your users behave.
Okay, so now that we're speaking the same language, let's meet the major players. It's time for a little tour of the top ad networks out there.
And you know, we have to start with the 800-pound gorilla in the room, Google AdMob. Let's be real. If you've seen an ad in an app, there is a very good chance it came from these guys.
So, AdMob is the go-to for so many developers, and for good reason. It's just really accessible. Integrating their tools is pretty straightforward. It supports all the main ad types you'd want, and their approval process isn't super strict. This all makes it an absolutely fantastic starting point if you're new to this. The only thing to watch out for is that as your app gets bigger, the returns can sometimes level off, and that's usually when developers start looking around for other options.
And speaking of other options, when you're ready to branch out, Media.net is a really powerful alternative. You know, while AdMods is kind of the default, Media.net, which is backed by Yahoo and Bing, comes at it from a different angle. It uses what are called contextual ads, meaning it scans your app's content to show ads that are super relevant. That can be a huge boost for engagement. It's a great way to add a second income stream and not put all your eggs in the Google basket.
Next up, let's talk about a specialist in eye-popping visuals. If your app is a game or anything with a lot of video, you absolutely need to know about AdColony.
AdColony's whole world is high-quality, high-def video. They've got partnerships with massive brands, and they're experts in things like rewarded video. You know, where a user chooses to watch an ad to get an extra life or some in-app currency. It's a total win-win. Your users get something they want, and you get some of the best CPMs in the business. For a game, this is pretty much a no-brainer.
Okay, so from a video expert, let's pivot to a global powerhouse that's all about using smart tech to deliver its ads. Let's talk InMobi.
InMobi is one of the biggest independent ad platforms you'll find. Their main selling point is their use of AI to serve up ads that are incredibly contextual and personalized. Now, why does that matter to you? Well, it helps fight something called ad fatigue. When users see the same boring, irrelevant ads over and over, they just tune them out. But when the ads actually feel relevant, they're way less likely to get annoyed and more likely to actually engage, which is just better for everybody.
All right, now for something a little different. If you're looking for a wide variety of ad formats and the potential for really high returns, we need to talk about Clickadoo.
Clickadoo is known for two main things. First, a ton of different ad formats. We're talking push notifications, pop-unders, the whole shebang. And second, they're known for delivering some seriously high CPMs. They handle billions of ad impressions every single day, so their scale is just massive.
This makes them a really interesting choice for apps with lots of content, like news or entertainment apps, where you can integrate these different ad types really effectively.
So we've met the players, we know who's out there. But look, knowing their names is only half the battle. Now we've got to talk about building a smart strategy, one that actually lets you make money without chasing your users away.
So how in the world do you choose? Well, here's a 5-point checklist. Just ask yourself these questions. 1. What's their performance like? You need to look at their eCPM, that's your effective revenue per 1,000 impressions, and their fill rate, which is just how often they can actually find an ad to show. 2. Do you even qualify? Some networks have minimum traffic requirements. 3. How hard is it to integrate? A clunky SDK can be a huge pain. 4. What does their analytics dashboard look like? You need good data to make good decisions. And finally, number 5, and this is probably the most important one, will this be a good experience for my users?
And that brings us to what a real sustainable strategy looks like. You've got to focus on formats that aren't annoying, like native ads that blend in or rewarded ads that give the user something back. Don't bombard people. Limit how often you show ads. You should always be testing different placements to find that perfect balance. And please remember, ads don't have to be your only source of income. They work best when they're part of a mix that might include things like in-app purchases or subscriptions.
And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? It's not about being aggressive and shoving as many ads as you can in front of your users. Real long-term success comes from being smart, being thoughtful, and integrating advertising in a way that respects the people using your app. That's how you build a business that's actually going to last.
So I'm going to leave you with this one question to really chew on. Take a good hard look at what you're doing right now or what you're planning to do. Is it really serving your business for the long haul, or are you just chasing a quick buck at the expense of the most valuable thing you have, your users? The answer to that question will define your app's future.